Best Gender Bender Anime, Ranked. Anime remains one of the most diverse forms of entertainment in terms of animation, as creators in Japan have different takes in terms of genres and tropes. For instance, the gender bender anime genre remains quite a hit for romance fans. However, while all gender bender anime share the same basic premise of a person switching genders, the way their stories work is almost always different from one another. As such, it can be tricky for anime fans to find a gender bender anime that's worth the time and investment, especially now that there are so many available to watch. Thankfully, certain shows do end up rising above the competition. Just which gender bender anime is the best? Updated on July 6, 2024, by Mark Sammy. Gender bender anime have not been a part of 2024 so far, and that will not change during the summer season. That said, Senpai Isn't It a Kanoko could be worth watching for someone craving a story that touches upon themes like gender identity. Another anime recommendation has been added to this article, one involving magical girls. Body-swapping anime will also be included. However, isekai or reincarnation anime that involve characters reborn as the opposite gender will not be considered. If that premise sounds appealing, please check out the following article. 15. Ayakashi Triangle. My anime list score, 6.45. To say that Ayakashi Triangle had a troubled production cycle would be an understatement. Despite debuting in winter 2023, the anime had to wait until the summer anime season to complete its single cour run. Due to its elongated release schedule, Ayakashi Triangle squandered a somewhat decent start, dooming itself to be nothing more than a footnote in the year's anime output. Still, there is enough to enjoy here to recommend the Gender Bender series. The eponymous Ayakashi are essentially spirits, and they can be dangerous if they happen to find someone with a lot of energy. Kanade and Matsuri can both see these creatures, and the latter strives to keep the former out of harm's way. One day, a cat-like Ayakashi transforms Matsuri into a girl, a change the shinobi takes in her stride. 14. Camphor. My anime list score, 6.37. Camphor is one of those anime that, while enjoyable, will probably not stick in a viewer's mind for all that long. The series does not excel in any area, delivering middling action, serviceable humor, and inoffensive characters, all things that combine to create an experience that goes in one ear and out the other. Just to be clear, there is nothing wrong with fluff, as long as it is entertaining. Camphor is just fun enough to warrant a recommendation, even if it is nowhere near the best gender bender anime ever. Essentially, Natsuru becomes a magical girl, albeit one that fits other chosen girls rather than evil monsters. While this situation leads to a couple of notable fights, it mostly culminates in comedic hijinks as Natsuru tries to fit in at school while keeping his dual gender a secret. The story does not build all that much momentum as it goes along, and it kind of petters out at the end. Still, Camphor is a decent watch. 13. Magical Girl or. My anime list score, 6.64. Magical girl anime parodies are not hard to come by, and there are some great ones out there. While it slips into some other genres and themes, Is This a Zombie? Is consistently hilarious. Meanwhile, cute High Earth Defense Club Love is a decent comedy that pokes fun at classic mishoujo tropes. Surprisingly, or not, two magical girl anime incorporate a gender bender twist to their stories, and they are both of somewhat equal quality. Gonna Be the Twin Tail features a male lead who transforms into a magical girl, and the show is watchable but forgettable. Conversely, Magical Girl or goes in the other direction, centering around a female protagonist who transforms into a buff dude when she becomes a magical girl. Out of these two shows, Magical Girl or is probably better, but its humor can be quite divisive. Following in her mother's footsteps, Saki decides to become a magical girl to save her love interest. To her surprise, she transforms into a very masculine guy, all the while still wearing the traditional magical girl outfit. Magical Girl or is a strange case as its selling point, the whole female-to-male transformation, is arguably its weakest element. The humor during these moments mostly boils down to gender stereotypes, and Saki's personality shifts from enjoyably silly to annoyingly bland when she is a guy. Still, the anime has some interesting points, including a fun supporting cast including another magical girl. 12. Life with an ordinary guy who reincarnated into a total fantasy knockout. My anime list score, 7.15. Fun as most of them can be, isekai anime often seem allergic to the mere concept of originality or novelty. Most shows are happy to repeat the same old tropes with almost no variety, a decision that enhances their mainstream appeal along with their forgettability. For all its flaws, Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout is at the very least memorable, and that comes down to its unique setup. Two lifelong friends, Hinata and Tsukasa, are sent to a fantasy world by a goddess and tasked with defeating the demon lord. If that was not already hard enough, Hinata is also transformed into a girl who can magically charm almost anyone, a power that threatens to take their friendship with Tsukasa in an unexpected direction. Total Fantasy Knockout is, unsurprisingly, a comedy that, while not regularly hilarious, is frequently amusing. 11. Kokoro Connect. My anime list score, 7.74. Also known as Heart Connect, Kokoro Connect explores the lives of 5 students that have weird supernatural problems that force them to connect and bond with each other. Thankfully for the 5 students, all of them are members of the Student Cultural Research Club of their high school. They soon learn that an entity called Heartseed is causing the supernatural phenomenon to test them for unknown reasons. The gender bender aspect happens when a supernatural phenomenon causes these students to constantly switch bodies with each other. Considering that their friendship is constantly tested, it's interesting to see how far they will go to preserve their friendship and their knowledge of each other while inhabiting each other's bodies. Only Kokoro Connect's first arc involves gender bending, and technically, it is really body swapping. 10. Anime I'm Now Your Sister. My anime list score, 7.69. Considering gender bender stories are rare, the fact Winter 2023 contained 3 anime that fit the theme was unusual. Ayakashi Triangle is what it is, while Reborn to Master the Blade follows a king who is reincarnated as a female swordsman, and while the protagonist does swap genders, the show does not focus too much on that part of the premise. Last, there is Anime I'm Now Your Sister, which revolves around a hikikomori guy who is converted into a much younger girl by his sister. The anime completely skips over the main character's pre-transformation life, a decision that limits the story's potential as a traditional gender-bender comedy. That said, the show does a good job of highlighting the protagonist's attempts to adapt to life as a girl. While not devoid of frustrating or uncomfortable moments, Anime becomes surprisingly wholesome once the protagonist starts to attend school. 9. No Doubt in Us. My anime list score, 7.52, Season 1. A Nona series based on a manhwa, No Doubt in Us has produced 2 seasons so far, both of which are very good. While married, Emperor Jin Yun Xiao and Empress Yuzu have drifted apart over the years, to the point of basically hating each other. Their relationship appears to be beyond mending, at least that seemed to be the case before they swapped bodies, forcing themselves to literally see the world from their partner's perspective. No Doubt in Us uses its gender-bending premise as fuel for its comedy and romance, the latter of which comes with a healthy side helping of drama and character development. 8. Girl Meets Girl. My anime list score, 6.63. A rather unique twist to the gender-bending concept, Kashimeshi, Girl Meets Girl tells the story of Hazumu Asaragi after he confesses his love to his close friend Yasunaka Miyazumi, who quickly rejects him. When a devastated Hazumu climbs Mount Kashima, he's killed when an alien spaceship crashes on him. While the alien Hitoshi Sora brings Hazumu back to life, he accidentally regenerates him as a girl down to his genetics. So when Hazumu, now a girl, returns to school, She becomes surprised by all the new interactions she has to deal with. This is compounded by the fact that Hazumu's closest friends, Yasuna who can't see males and the tomboyish Tamari, start to like her as well. This results in an odd love triangle between the cast's female characters and makes Kashimashi a unique take on exploring some of the many compelling aspects of the female personality. 7. Ginfama's Dikobuku Arc. My Anime List, 9.06, Ginfama, Episodes 275 to 277. Over the course of roughly 400 episodes, Ginfama did everything there could be to do in an anime. Whether parodying battle shonen series or crafting tense action that can sit among the genre's greatest efforts, the beloved show could always be relied upon to tell creative and memorable stories featuring an incredibly likable cast of characters who love to get irreverent every once in a while. Considering the series features an arc around a real-life popularity contest, Ginfama's decision to tackle the gender-bender trope hardly came as a surprise. More importantly, just like the character Pole Saga, the Dikobuku arc pushes the concept to its absolute limit by producing hilarity and also heart. Angered by humanity's weak appreciation of gender roles, an alien cult fires a godlike beam into Edo's Kabukako district, transforming nearly everyone within into the opposite sex. To transform back and avoid this attack spreading to the rest of the world, the impacted people have 3 days to embrace their new genders. However, Jintaki, aka Ginkgo, Zuko, aka Zakuo, and the rest of the usual crew opt for a different solution. As this is Ginfama, the arc largely focuses on humor, with all 3 episodes coming packed with big laugh-out-loud moments. While it is neat to see the gender-bender versions of Ginfama's main characters, the most memorable and funniest transformations are completely silly and bear little resemblance to the original designs. Kagura is particularly hilarious. The storyline is not devoid of nuance either, particularly concerning Zuko. 6. Birdie the Mighty, Decode. My Anime List Score, 7.42. It's not often that a gender-bender anime branches into action, but Birdie the Mighty, Decode is a great way to showcase just how flexible the genre can become. The story explores the life of Birdie Sephon Altera, a super soldier created to hunt down interplanetary criminals that use Earth as a secret hideout. Unfortunately, one of her chases leads to the accidental death of Tsutomu Senkawa, a high school student. Thankfully, the advanced tech of the Federation allows Tsutomu's body to be reconstructed, but in order to complete the process, Birdie now has to share a body with him. As a result, Birdie and Tsutomu have to swap places every so often, especially when Birdie has to chase down bad guys. On top of that, Tsutomu must ensure no one gets to know about Birdie, for the sake of their safety. This unique dynamic makes Birdie the Mighty quite an enjoyable story. 5. Our Home's Fox Deity. My Anime List Score, 7.19. Our Home's Fox Deity is a different type of gender-bender anime since it revolves around a yokai who can change genders at will. After being sealed away for a long time, Kyujin Tenko is freed in order to serve as the bodyguard of the Takagami siblings. Naturally, this entails occasionally taking on a spiritual threat, although it would be a stretch to describe Zexx's anime as action. In reality, Our Home's Fox Deity is closer to a fantasy slice-of-life anime. Comedy is also a big part of the equation, although its mileage may vary depending on someone's tolerance for tropes and fish-out-of-water jokes. 4. Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches. My Anime List Score, 7.55. Now exploring the mystical side of the genre, Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches follows the adventures of Ryu Yamada. An ordinary high school boy, Ryu's accidental fall onto Yuraura Shiraishi has them switch bodies, a process that is only cured with a kiss. This weird circumstance sparks the revival of the Supernatural Studies Club, where Yamada and its members discover the existence of witches in the school, all of whom possess special gifts and abilities. Soon, they discover that Yamada's kiss not only activates the witch's powers but also does other magical things. Unfortunately, various disasters start happening around the school that the club has to somehow prevent or stop. This magical girl spin on the genre is unique, making the anime a must-watch for gender-bender fans. Now, Ryu and Yura swap bodies frequently enough throughout the season to warrant a mention in this discussion. However, that is not constantly the main focus, and the anime deals with a range of other powers. 3. Cheeky Angel. My anime list score, 7.43. An early 2000s anime that has been slightly forgotten, Cheeky Angel holds up as one of the best gender-bender anime of all time. To the unknowing guy, Megumi is just a high school girl who enjoys the occasional fight. However, she used to be a boy, at least until he was granted a wish that changed her life forever. All these years later, Megumi is still searching for a way to reverse her transformation, all the while she engages in school shenanigans. Cheeky Angel lives and dies on the strength of its main characters, and the show knocks this area out of the park. Megumi is a fantastic lead, and she is accompanied by a roster of lovable support characters who are hilarious too. Your Name. My anime list score, 8.84. Perhaps one of the most compelling anime films of the past few years, Your Name is a gripping story regarding two star-crossed individuals. Set in 2013, the anime stars rule girl Mitsuhima Mizu who wishes to become a Tokyo boy in her next life, whereas Takita Kabana from Tokyo simply wishes to have a simpler life in the province. They suddenly switch bodies the next day, being forced to live each other's lives. Throughout Your Name, the two of them leave each other notes to communicate with each other, soon becoming close with one another as the series progresses. However, with their distance means potentially never being able to meet, their fates become intertwined with the arrival of the comet Tiamat. 1. Ranma Half. My anime list score, 7.76. Perhaps the quintessential example of a classic gender-bender anime, Ranma Half explores the adventures of Ran Misetum, who becomes cursed when he falls into Juzenko's cursed springs during a training journey. According to legend, those cursed by the springs will take the form of anything that drowned there years and years ago, and Ranma takes the form of a drowned girl. Thankfully, being exposed to either hot or cold water will revert him to their other form. And unfortunately for Ranma, this begins an odd adventure as he tries to balance his life with this newfound supernatural gift, or is it a curse? Despite its age, Ranma Half remains a delightful watch given its take on a mix of slice of life, light martial arts, and romance. The shenanigans involved with Ranma constantly switching forms are a breath of fresh air, especially when he starts juggling the many relationships involved in the process.
Hello. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future content, comment and let me know. I know many are not comfortable with AI art, but I am saving to gather supplies to delve into other art styles. It will take time, but I am hoping to get into resin, woodworking, and metalworking. All I ask, please enjoy my videos.